I want to call this special meeting to order. We'll start by removing our hats and saying the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this time I would like approval of the agenda.
I approve the agenda as submitted. I'll second.
Moved and second, we'll approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. At this point in time, we are called here today to do a resolution 2026-12 for a moratorium on power generation facilities. Do we have any discussion on that?
Could you give maybe an overview of the conversation?
Okay, what this does, what this does is, if you're familiar with the moratorium, we've done it in the past with solar farms, wind farms, and during ordinances. But this is a resolution to put hold anything at this point in time. So that's what we're voting on today, because this is what was recommended by several attorneys, courts, and other things. I want you to know this is not something we've been sitting on. I've been on the phone, we've all been on the phone with senators, congressmen, judges, not governors, because it doesn't look like they're going to be in our favor.
Bill, did you say a resolution to halt? I'm sorry.
No, a moratorium, stop, but it's only good for 12 months. This is going to give us a time to do an ordinance and beef it up, okay? That's what we're voting on today. And these are steps that we're taking today as a board to stop or hold anything back. I know a lot of you have been with the, what is it?
Nuance.
Nuance. I've been in contact with Ken. I've been in Jeff constantly. Jeff wanted to be here today. Believe me, there's a lot that you don't know that this group are doing behind the scenes. What you guys are doing is awesome too, but contact your senators, congressmen. This is what you can spend a lot of your time and effort on, because the more of you that are heard, and if they hear from the same people all the time, they need to hear from everybody, because we are a community. And so saying that, we don't need to attack each other. We need to attack consumers' energy. And there's been some false accusations put out there that if people want to know questions, we are not hiding anything. We have been so transparent. And come to call us. Hell, most of you got my cell phone number. God knows I've been getting calls for the last 2 days until 11:30 and started at 6 o'clock in the morning. But I talk to everybody who calls, and you're going to get it up front. This is not something we're going to just roll over and say, oh, make your wish list. We're fighters. We always have been. And I date back to the 60s when Huron Clinton Metropolitan Parks tried to march through here and take 2,500 acres of our area. We fought them then. And I plan on it being fought now. There's contact, and what I'm gonna ask is, this is a time to be together, not fight, not, if you have questions, just ask us, you know? Hell, and will tell you, if it's not legal, we're not doing it. God knows that, and I'll stand behind that 100%. So at this point in time, I, with this new business, I will take a motion.
Let me read the overview. It is a two-page resolution that we will post on the website. This was provided to us by our township attorney. It's resolution 2612 for a moratorium on power generating facilities. A resolution imposing a temporary moratorium for a period of 12 months on the establishing, permitting, consideration, approval, location, construction, and/or installation of any power generating facility in the township of Lima. So I will offer that resolution.
I'll support. Supported, the movement supported of the resolution 2026-12 on the moratorium on the power generating facilities. Any more discussion?
Why 12 months? Why just 12 months?
Because that's a maximum at this point in time legally. Okay.
Are we opening ourselves up to, is this going to create litigation?
That's my question, is
Is it going to create
is
litigation?
hang on, is this gonna go into a lawsuit? Right, I mean, is this gonna spark that right now?
No. Because there's nothing that's been filed through myself. This is the recommendation I've had through, believe me, several attorneys. And these are the steps that the township, as small as we are, need to follow to protect ourselves.
We've done this in the past, Dale, on things,
Yeah.
like, well, most recently, the data center, which we just did. So, and this is just, since we have no particular regulation on this type of use, and we never anticipated we would ever process it here, is why there's nothing specifically directing it. And this gives us time to get our ducks in a row, basically, from a zoning standpoint and from a community standpoint. So what this does is this means that gives us, a lot of times we've only done 6 months in the past, because I think that's maybe, and that's what we have on the data center, 6 months, so we could do that. Anyway, it's, all this does is basically say, nothing's gonna happen until we can see how we can get our ducks in a row. It's, as far as whether it generates a lawsuit or whatever challenges, you can't really speak
But
to
I
that.
think is inevitable, if they wanna come in here, you know, they're a billions of dollar company. So if they wanna fight us, they will, so that's
That's
what
different.
scares me.
Well, that's a different story than this. This is what we can do today. But right now, they've asked for nothing. Just hopes.
Right.
But I think we need to get something in place before they
Yes.
do ask something. And so that was our attorney's suggestion to do this immediately.
Yeah.
And the attorney and the planner are working on reviewing our ordinance. I think they think our ordinance is good to stop this, but they want to make it better. So there are upcoming ordinance modifications that they are working on.
This is as proactive as we can be today.
So if consumers comes in like they did to Lily,
Yeah.
and bullies the
This is between us. At the end, there'll be a public.
No, okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. But
So I don't know if that answered your question or not, Dale, but that's the best we probably know at this point.
Yeah.
And it's consistent with what we've done in the past. I can't tell you the ones in years past, but we've done moratoriums on things in the past until we could get our ducks in a row, I'll put it that way.
So at this time, I'll pick up roll call. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know.
Van Riper,
Aye.
Mackenzie,
Aye.
Havens.
Aye.
Foskey. Aye. Lewis.
Aye.
Okay. Then turned, motion carried. Okay, at this point in time, we're gonna go to a public comment. Please keep it short. Please enter the podium. Tell who your name and your address. 3 minutes, we'll have a timer. Because if not, we'll be here till the sun goes down. Yes, ma'am.
How much? Oh, okay, I prepared 2 minutes.
We'll go 2 minutes, that's fine.
Okay, I will, so please be quiet, because my voice is kind of old. All right, so good afternoon, Lima Township Board of Trustees. My name is Victoria Schoen. I am a township resident. I live on Wiley Road. First, I would like to thank you each for your service and for allowing us this opportunity to meet with you and to talk. And at the public meeting regarding the proposed consumers energy plan, many residents came prepared with legitimate questions. Unfortunately, the company representative was unable or unwilling to provide meaningful answers regarding several critical issues, including potential impacts on human health and safety, air pollution, noise pollution affecting nearby homes and farms, light pollution impacting our rural night skies, water usage and potential groundwater contamination, soil quality and environmental degradation, effects on our local agriculture, livestock, and food production, impacts on wildlife habitat and natural ecosystems, and the actual size and scale of the proposed facility. These are not minor details. They are fundamental questions that deserve clear, transparent answers before any consideration of such a project moves forward. The overwhelming sentiment that I have heard from my neighbors is simple. We do not want this power plant in Lima Township. For generations, our communities have worked to protect our farmland, our open spaces, natural resources, rural character, quality of life. These values are not accidental. They are the result of thoughtful planning, responsible stewardship, and by residents and township leaders alike. A project of this magnitude threatens the very things that make Lima Township special. I am deeply concerned that the driving force behind this power plant is not the long-term well-being of our community, but rather financial interest ahead of profit. That's not true. Oh my God. All right. I am all in favor of the moratorium to provide us more time, allow us to become more informed, preserve all of our farmland, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm Caitlin Vigneault. This is actually my first meeting here. I live at 50 South Lima Center with my husband, Will. I have been just with Nuance, and I do want to let folks know, separate from Nuance, I am getting people together to work to build something that's going to back the board, because they will come for the board, have consumers, and they will try to sue. And I'm going to do what I can and make my connections and get the people in power that we need on our side. I don't want this here. Yeah.
I'm Susan Popiak. I live at 2181 North Steinbach. I'm holding the sign for everybody to understand what Nuance is. It is Neighbors United Against Noxious Consumers Energy. It's a Facebook page. It has become a library of information for us. Networking. So make sure you take note of this. Make sure you're doing. We need to communicate with each other and the board. I was just out before Jacob's holding the sign I had. This road, we must have stood out there maybe just 20 minutes. There were hundreds of cars passing by. We need to let even the passing cars know. So contact me if you'd like to do a regular stand out there with signs. Yes.
that, seeing none, I guess we're gonna adjourn.
Nice try, Bill.
Elissa, Elissa, Ray, RAY, 10701 Jackson Road, Dexter, but it's not 48130. We're down on Jackson Road. We got farm 10 acres down there by Dancer. And I just wanted to say, I really appreciate the parents helping us with this battle. It's going to be a huge battle. And, you know, we realize the value of having you and having everybody here to help us fight this. And we just found out about it last night because we're not really Facebook users. So I've been encouraging us as a group to try to get like an email and a text and a website and some stuff going. I just got lucky. I'm cruising on Facebook and I'm looking at, rehabilitated kittens and baby elephants, and all of a sudden there's a Lima Township $1 billion thing. So anyway, that's just my word, and of course I support the moratorium, and I support all the effort that this is going to take to fix. Thank you so much.
You should have put a number tag when you came out.
I should. I'm Hillary Nichols. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is downwind from the particulate matter, and I care enough. And I've been driving your roads. I'm so in love with Lima County, as you all are, Lima Township, pardon me, as you all are for yourselves, your grandchildren, your children, and the next generation. And so I think what we need as a group to communicate is that we don't want power plants, we don't want data centers. We don't want them collecting data. We don't need data centers, we don't need power plants. And we all agree. They're collecting for themselves. We have it on our own desk. We don't need the data collected. We don't agree with the data collections. And for them to keep pushing this down people's throats is the crime against humanity, is the crime against Earth, the Earth that we all share. Wildlife is life, and we here in this room care enough to amplify this to everybody we know in Lima Township, etc. Not just downwind in Southeast Michigan, but all over. And we are linked with a lot of energy, a lot of force that is rising on Facebook, and yet we need to have avenues off of Facebook. This room is off of Facebook. This is miraculous and wonderful. It needs to be celebrated. We should exchange as many phone numbers as you can, make as many friends as you can here today, because this matters more than they can measure. Thank you.
I'm Shannon Boughton. I live on Liberty Road, just off of Pacer in Lima Township. I just had a couple questions. I guess the first one is, why can't we make the moratorium 3 years until they've run out of time? And it's capped at 12 months. And then the other thing I thought was, is there a way for us to make a statement as a community about fossil fuel use in general that might support some state standing on this power plant? Because if we could pass something that showed the community as a whole, right, that doesn't affect, for example, wind farms and solar farms, might be something useful to show that support.
We could probably get involved with that, but it'll open up any combustible engine.
Speak up, please. He said it would affect any combustible engine.
I've already looked into that.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Just a quick question. I'm Tim. I'm down on Trinkley Road, Tim Hyder. Is there, and I understand it's public comment, but that's probably answer the question. Is there a point in gathering signatures for a petition? What are petitions for anyway? Well, online or pay, I know there's one online, but what about paper petition?
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into a street warning. They have to follow certain suitors, laws, rules, or whatever from different organizations. It has to be very specific, and but if possible, the online one is that has no way there's no legal or
that's why
there. It just
so that's the question to the board.
Yeah. There is something possible potentially. It's just defining what it is and figuring out how we ask for it.
And you guys
there are places you can comment with what is it, True Earth?
Okay.
That one, and Sierra Club. And yes, the more you comment on there and put a specific spot,
But I'm talking like a paper petition, like you sign petitions to get elected officials.
If you're interested in helping that,
But you guys have any answer? The point of a written petition? We don't. You don't know? Board doesn't know? We'll look into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name's Elaine Economo. I live at 820 Dancer Road, and I've said before, my family's property is adjacent, not far from the proposed site. We've lived here for most of the time since 1995. And I have said one other time at this podium how moved I've been in the last 2 weeks to get to know my neighbors and the stories of our township and how important it is for us to continue to connect with each other and engage in a way that will support moving this forward. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and encourage the board again. There are townships, there are places that have fought this in other parts of the country. We need to get their blueprint and we need to be proactive. So I appreciate so much what's happening today, but I'm going to just beg you to keep it up because we can't do it without you being very, very proactive.
Hi, my name is Dr. Lindsay Rowland. I'm the owner of the Emergency Veterinary Hospital on the west side of Ann Arbor here. I'm a Lima Township resident. My children and I live right over here on Pinecrest. I've grown up in Ann Arbor my entire life. It's the most beautiful place I've ever been. I chose to bring my business back here, started here because I love this area, and I chose to move to Lima Township because it's this beautiful rural area where my children can be raised. Now, two aspects I think maybe more particular to small business owners. I literally attract national talent to my business because Ann Arbor and this area in general, I push Chelsea, Dexter, Lima Township areas as a place for my employees to live, them to prosper, and just the beautiful farmland versus the city. It literally attracts national talent because of that. And Ann Arbor being ranked routinely as one of the best places to live. I think out here is, but that's okay. So it will affect businesses too, and the ability to attract talent, proper talent, good talent for the small businesses. So that aspect may be more particular to small businesses around here. Another aspect I want to bring is the impact it has on our children. All my children are here. I see these other lovely children over here. The impact this will have on them as far as the particulates in the air. All 4 of my children have airway abnormalities, severe asthma. They are not alone. Every time we go to the pulmonologist, they're booked solid. Okay, tons of kids around here with these airway conditions, and they already have difficulty. So having this level of pollution in the air, how does it impact that generation is something else that I think needs to be brought up. There's already a talk nationwide about the increase in asthma and allergies in the younger generation and why is that happening. So I think if somebody wants to bring that in as well as a health aspect, I just wanted to voice that. Now, I also want to thank you guys. And this turnout is amazing. I just saw this yesterday on Facebook as well. I'm trying to get the word out to a bunch of people in the Ann Arbor area and the surrounding communities that love this area. I mean, this is amazing to see the kind of turnout. My kids were hooping and hollering as soon as we pulled in and the whole parking lot was full. We had to park up against a tree or something. It's just really beautiful because when we all come together as this, it seems like a small community when you don't see that many people, right? Because we've got farms and stuff. But to see everyone come in here, this is beautiful. So thank you for saying that.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Evans. I live in Thornton Farms at 8375 Crabapple Trail. And just a couple of thoughts I had in terms of getting the word out, because I actually only heard of it because my neighbor texted me. So I didn't see it on Facebook. I look in the Sun Times, which only came yesterday, but I didn't see anything there. And that's kind of the only place that I would look. So I don't know if we can kind of get that first with that. The other thing I thought, since it is unanimous, would there be a small budget that we could have to make signs that we in Lima Township could have on our lawns to let us know with like, see whatever for, information.
I'm sorry, I've already sent out 200 signs to be printed and they'll be available midnight.
And then the other thought I had, well, two thoughts. One was, is there a way to get a contact sheet with email, just to hear while we're all here from wherever we come from? And the other thing is, what is the soonest, just looking into what is the soonest voting ballot? Maybe that we could have, like, could we make this a township thing to put in elections to vote on something? Or is that, if that is something, when could be the first to do that? That's it. Hi, my name is Carol Owens. We are at 1722 South Lima. Our 27-year-old actually bought the 10 acres next to us and is at 1814 South Lima, so I'm representing both homes. We moved here 5 years ago. We wanted the rural setting. We wanted to have our forever place of a homestead, our orchard, our farm, and we thought we found it. This was devastating to us. I do have a couple of questions. I wrote them down. So one, who is the township lawyer? And is he here? Or she? Is the township lawyer here today? No? Okay. I guess I'm also wondering who is the planning and consulting firm that would be involved with any changes to our township guidelines?
Our township planner is Beckett Rader.
Okay, can you repeat that?
Beckett Rader,
I think that's all on the website.
Yeah, I mean, that's knowable.
Okay.
Who's the attorney?
Brad Lucas.
Pardon me?
Brad Lucas.
Brad Lucas. Okay. Thank you. Those were my questions. And thank you for everything you do. Thank you, Hannah, for always being extremely helpful on tax day.
Hello, I'm Connor. I live around Pine Crest, to add to what my Dr. Williams said over there. I am 14. I have lived in this area pretty much my entire life. Lived in Dexter and then moved over here to Lima a couple years ago. It terrifies me to think about a future where I can't go outside. I suffer from severe asthma. All my siblings do. And it is a severe condition. I did some research. 442,000 people die every year from asthma. It is terrifying to think that the chances of me or my siblings being part of that stat would increase because of this being put in, which really scares me. I fear for the future of all the kids in the area, and I think that this is a matter that needs to be addressed. Sorry. Yeah, so I want to be able to have my childhood, have my siblings have their childhood, be able to play outside, be safe, not have to wear a respirator to go outside. I want to stay in the area. I don't want to have to leave. And the reality is, a plant like this isn't going to send these air pollutants in just this area. It's going to go everywhere. So I'd have to leave the area that I'm so familiar with, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to my siblings. Okay.
I'm Rich Cox. I've restored the Wiseman Farm on Gunther Road. It's on a broken record, but put recommendations for the board. What other council are we using? Do we have a name? Are we answering, or are we, is that the way we answer what other council are we using? What other, are we answering questions, or is this just?
It's just, we'll answer them at the end, we'll take notes.
Okay, so my questions are, what other council are we using? What is our budget versus firepower council? And can we put forth a resolution to set money aside to make this happen? My concern, this is a matter of pace. The rep that will be just passed right there, just pick the clock off at consumers' energy. So we need to keep our pace up. We need to budget some IT person for our website, so our communication is daily and direct. If we had that document online this morning, some of our other councils would have looked at it. I think anything that we do, we should be able to have it on the website, media, perhaps on a Facebook page where it gets lost. I'm sure that could be a small IT budget. Somebody here knows somebody, one of our people to talk about too. Any direct communication with consumers' energy since the first two meetings. We had any direct communication, since anybody up. Update funds for timely website management. One consideration, can we make a rule again with MISDOT and bring up the fact that the 94 interchange of Fletcher Road is not going to be able to sustain this kind of development? Can we make them have to get with MISDOT and change that interchange so it's safe and used? Can we make a resolution that says any project over this amount of trucks per day needs to pay for this road, pay for that light, pay for interchange, or the paper road won't do it? So are there ways that we can push and get these things in our charter before we hear from them? So I'll wait for answers later.
Hello, my name is Tanya Peccazitas and I live on Jackson Road. And while I was reading a little bit about the similar situation across the states, somebody was mentioning municipal insurance. Does Lima Township have municipal insurance? Is it something that we can look into? Because it seems like ultimately it will come to a situation where we'll be in a lawsuit against consumer energy, and this is where that municipal insurance might come into play.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Rod Powers. I live in South Church Road, south side of the township, Free Farm. I congratulate the board for stepping up and Billy's comments about working together and not getting. It goes back again. He and I are probably the two oldest guys here that have been in the township forever. Okay.
He's old.
He's old. Sorry to tell you, he lives in Ferris Farm. Ferris used to babysit for me. Okay. So that's how far it goes back. But anyhow, all I'm going to get is yes, I think you have to stick together. The biggest thing is I think we need to look at land use issues, okay, and alternatives. For instance, 3 years ago, Chrysler Proving Grounds was talking about shutting down. If that were the case, is that an alternative? I don't mean to shove it over in Sylvan Township, for instance, but there's 1,200 acres that would be sitting idle. Ideal for a place, something like that. Again, it gets into the financial side of things, with the money issue with consumers or something like that. But there are other alternatives to look at besides the health, the farmland, besides the nature stuff, and all those kind of things. If we could look at alternative sites, for instance, okay, would be my big approach. Part of it's evolution, for instance. Not to pick on any of you people. Most of you moved here since I was a kid, okay? And I didn't like houses coming in to our farmland, but it happens. Okay? And so that's how it is. That's the same with the power plant. I don't want it here, but if we can find alternative sites, get them moved to, that would be great. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Haroni. I live on 11197 Dexter Chelsea Road. Our road all the way between Dexter and Chelsea has been under fire with bike paths and pipelines and solar, excuse me, a lot of development that's taken down tens of thousands of trees. I've lived on my property for 34 years now, and it was Lima Township that I moved to, not Dexter or Chelsea. It was Lima Township, and it was a wonderful, welcoming community that was the ideal place to raise children. How long are we going to let the degradation of our land and the rape of our property continue? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Matt Thielman. I live at 8646 Magnolia Way, in the Thornton Farms neighborhood. I'm a pretty new resident here. My wife and I bought our home last June and moved in August. And this right now is a perfect mix of being close to Ann Arbor and close to nature for us. And it's a pretty devastating idea to think that we might have to move our home. We have a 4-month-old daughter, and looking at the science around the dangers of the pollutants from this factory and the idea that we want another child means that we would be forced to move. I learned about this week. I've begun to be more active in the Nuance Facebook group. I encourage everyone who's on Facebook to join. And I'm pulling together a number of reports on the health implications, the financial implications, which, by the way, are very bad. Any property within 2 miles of a gas-powered plant goes down by an average 7% in its value, and it starts as soon as it's announced and never recovers. I'm also looking into reports on the environmental and species decline and plants like this. I'm happy to share with anyone. This is a really big deal. And the really scary thing for me, and I know it's a sensitive political topic, but what is also happening at the national level is that the EPA is currently rolling back all of the standards that make this now the worst time for a future plant to be built in the last 20 years. And so I also want to say that this is actually, it's a local issue, it's a state issue, and it's also a national issue. And it's something for all of us to think about when we go to the ballots. And the last thing I want to say is thank you to you all for putting on this moratorium right now. And I've been to previous boards. We're talking about water sometimes at Thornton Farms, you know that. And you all have asked us to be more active, and I think you see that here. What I want to offer is our conversations on Facebook, our conversations online. Those are the way that people are being active now. And so the invitation, I think, asks you to also come over here. We might not show up all the time here, but it doesn't mean we don't care. And I would love to have a bridge that we can find ways to work together and say, in case I can't make it because I'm home with my daughter, how can you all still hear my voice? And so I would love to create a conversation about how we can work together and feel like really we are neighbors here. Thank you. Very cool.
My name is Renee Quinn. I live on Fleming Road in Dexter. And I drove all the way out to Saline because they were having a meeting regarding their data center. And one of the things that they mentioned was a defense fund, that they wish they had a defense fund to fight their situation out there, and they didn't have one, but they're talking about starting one. Do you guys have something like that here, a defense fund? Okay, where you hide and you have the lawyers ready to go in situations like this. So a defense fund is what they're talking about anyways. So that's a good idea. For those of you that are on Facebook or those of you that are not on Facebook, I know Facebook can be a pain in the butt, but you should get on because that's where we all connect. First of all, I want to say I'm super impressive. This is very impressive. You ought to give yourself a round of applause. The amount of people that want to fight this. And we should help our fellow communities too. And that's why I'm here. That's why I drove out to Saline Township. I don't know if the consumer energy building, does it cause noise? Does it have noise? Okay, so noise pollution. Okay, has anybody heard of tonal noise? Okay, write that down. Tonal noise, and it's a frequency you cannot hear, but it's a vibration that you can feel. And it causes high levels of inflammation in the brain and other issues, cardiac issues, raises your stress level, the whole bit. So tonal noise, you don't hear it. It's a frequency. So keep that in mind. Also, my friend Sheila started Save the Trees because we were fighting the road commission because they were chopping down. This is going to get emotional for me. A lot of 100-plus-year-old trees that really didn't need to be chopped down. That's my opinion. But they're coming for you. Okay, they're coming for you. Got to follow the money, they say, right? So, but we're asking you if you want to join our Facebook page. It's more than just the trees. It's kind of morphed into. We want to protect our waterways, our butterflies. We're dealing with spraying on the lakes and all that. But now this. So this is another way to connect with other communities, and we can meet this. You can meet this. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to support you, and I'll come to as many meetings as possible. God bless you all.
My name is Lucas England. I'm a 9-year-old here, and I moved here last year.
I'm so upset with this. I do not want to move because
It's all right, buddy. We'll fight for it. We're with you. We'll fight for it. Okay?
Chelsea is a nice town, and we we moved here to my parents who live here for the rest of their lives, and we've got to move within what 2 years.
My name is Jens Anthony. I live on 10771 Side Church. I just wanted to remind everyone just in the last year or so, do you guys remember the fire that was in Alaska? That we were getting all the smoke, all the pollution from them. We couldn't even get our house to breathe. I was wearing masks going out from the pollution. Just think about the planet so close to us, what we're gonna do, each one of us.
Hi, my name's Bill Rotate, 10890 West Hershey Lane. I'm off of Dancer Road. We're down the 2 tracks, so we're right in the middle of the section there. And my back property boundary is about 2,500 feet away from the proposed power plant. My wife has a neurodegenerative disorder, and I don't think I can just up and move. Now, this guy over here said my property value went down 70%. So if I want to 7%, well, I think it's probably more than that. And I think these guys at Consumers Power are responsible for that, and that they should reimburse me and everyone else who loses their property value. I also think that the way this air pollution, these poisonous fumes and particulate matter that's going to blow over everybody and make anybody with any kind of lung disorder even sicker and maybe possibly kill them, for sure, killing thousands probably downwind. I think they should be held responsible for that too. And I think they should make a mile border. They should buy all the property within a mile. And I think they should do that anywhere there's a data center or power plant or any disruptive heavy industry. You know, I mean, why should we all pay the price for their profits? You know, that makes no sense. But this is a long fight we're going to be in. They're going to fight this. They've got money, they got deep pockets, and we're definitely going to need a defense fund. I'm going to throw some money in that. But we're in for a long fight, folks. And I just, it heartens me to see you all here because we're there, me and my wife, we're on this beautiful piece of paradise. We live in paradise. We lucked out to get that. I was so lucky. And we always say, oh, we're blessed, and now there's this. And it's like, but it's really nice to see all of you. We're not alone. We felt so alone when we first found out. And we came and there's like, half dozen people. But it's good to see you guys. It's growing, So definitely contact your congressman, contact your senator, contact the state legislature lady. We got to, in the township, I was thinking there's got to be stuff we can do. How about we make a special property tax assessment on huge industrial things and make it $1,000 or $1 million an acre, let's say. That'll stop them. I put away on it.
Okay, folks. Okay, go ahead. One more. I got chores to do.
Sorry. It's my first time coming to one of these. I know I should have been coming to more. My name's Jerry Jarvis. I live at 8330 Crabapple Trail. I always intended to be more civically engaged, but I have the excuse everyone has where life gets in the way, I have to make dinner and everything like that. The one thing I was just curious of is for all communication with consumers' energy, can we get written responses back versus when you talk to your boss and they say they want to make a raise, right? And you go through it, but then there's nothing in writing. So can we ensure that all questions are answered in writing going forward? So I just, simple ones here, I wasn't at the last one, but what is the projected operation lifespan of the plant? They're building a 30-year gas plant. In 2040, Michigan has clean energy targets. So why is that being built now with only 10 years? What are air quality models that are being done in the surrounding residential areas? Has Consumers Energy applied for or received any air permits yet from the MDEGLE? Is the plant capacity specifically intended to serve the Saline Data Center? Yes or no? You know, we need to know because they don't serve Thornton Farms, so they're serving someone. Right. And one other question I was wanting them to answer is, what kind of plant is this? I was looking into it, and some people said natural gas, other people said dual fuel operation, so it could also be oil. And that just leads me into other questions of expansion of the facility. Because if they're adding on stuff, not only can we be dealing with this, but that may be fracking or anything else. So we just don't know the full extent, and it feels like they're going under the radar. So I just think we need to get it in writing as much answers as we can. Thank you.
Go ahead.
If you've ever been in a city, whether in a house or hotel, you wake up, what do you see outside? You see buildings, highways, probably not a single tree. But when you're in a city, that's beautiful because it's city. That's what it's about. But when you wake up in the country, you don't want to wake up and see the smoking chimneys of a gas power plant. What you want to see is the endless forests of Ann Arbor, the rolling fields of central Michigan, and the ever-present wildlife that's always eating apples. I don't want to wake up expecting to see Uncle Sam Altman's fingers creeping into every crevice of this country.
Yeah.
I want to wake up to the beautiful sunrises and fall asleep to the beautiful sunsets without the sun being occluded by the smoke. So my question is this: why are you putting the needs of the farming community, the backbone of America, behind the needs of the billion-dollar company? They're the last people who would ever need support, but because they have money and you want it, we get the short end of the stick. No, this plant won't bring jobs. It won't bring opportunities. And even if it did, anybody who's woken up around here or fallen asleep knows that the beautiful sunrises and sunsets cannot be traded for any amount of money.
I'm Sue Bronson. I live on Augusta Road, Zion Church. And I'm just wondering, with all the money that's been poured into our town, our county, Washington County, border to border, extra sidewalks, pay places to hike and bike, why aren't we trying to address the county to help us in this matter? They're trying to push a type of lifestyle, and then now we have this freedom. And I just wanted to mention that, and we would address the county and what we would do with that.
Thank you.
I would like to say something. Be the board member, a public comment that something that just came up again about going to Township Hall, and then this is happening. It's not the right time to do anything with it, and we can delay it, but I think we should solve this problem now.
Okay, I'll take an adjournment motion. Thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Questions?
What?